welcome to the Geeky Baker. Sorry it's been a while since I uploaded. I've been spending too much time being the Duchess of Mania in the Shivering Isles. People of Shivering Isles need me though, right? Okay, so I am also the head of the Thieves Guild, and one of my greatest accomplishments was stealing the Elder Scroll. So I thought, what a cool idea would it be to make an Elder Scroll roll cake. So for this recipe, you will need 4½ eggs, 1½ cups of sugar, 1½ cups of sifted flour, which we're going to sift a little bit later, 1/2 cup of water, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, or I'm using 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla bean paste. This is 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, and then you need 1½ teaspoons of cream of tartar, and this is going to provide a lot of the lift and stability. And then I also drew out my template of my Elder Scroll. So everything's going to be a light brown color except for these jewels. They are purple. So let's get started. We're going to start by mixing all of our wet ingredients, and for these purposes, sugar counts as a wet ingredient. So after about 5 minutes, you can see this is lightened in color and it's full of air bubbles. So we're going to go ahead and add all of our dry ingredients, including that sifted flour. I'm going to take about 1 cup of this batter. And this is going to be for my colored portions. And I've got a little bit of black and a little bit of red in there. I'm going to mix it up so that it gets nice and colored a brown color. Okay, so now we have a brownish black. That's close enough. I'm going to add a little bit more flour to this to make it a little bit stouter, because I'm going to be piping it into the shape, and this is kind of a thin batter. I don't want it to run. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of flour. See if that gives us a good consistency. Much better. It's much thicker. I'm going to add a little bit more. Another 1/2 tablespoon. Underneath my parchment sheet, I have my template. And it'll help a little bit if you kind of can put a little bit of baking spray or something to hold this down. Just use a couple of little dabs of butter. Now, this baking sheet is cold, so I'm going to be laying out my design, and then we're going to freeze it. So into a piping bag, fitted with a number 3 tip. I'm going to be doing a lot of the bigger decorations. And then I'm going to trade that out for a 1 for some of the smaller, these little scratchy looking guys here, and maybe some of this more intricate kind of work right in here. Okay, so this wants to flow. That's good. Just have to be careful with it. Okay? All right, I'm gonna start here. If you like my nail design, you can head on over to Robin Moses Nail Art, and this is a design that she created that I tried to copy on my own. She uses regular lacquer nail polish, but I've been using gel, which I love. So head on over there, check her out. She's got a lot of cool tutorials. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put in my little bits of purple there, there, and there. I'm just using a zip top bag here. We're going to freeze solid for another 5 minutes. This is so when we put our other filling on top of it, or the actual cake mix, it's not going to like spread and everything's gone. Okay, go ahead and preheat your oven to 375 degrees, and you are going to very carefully pour this over the top of this. You want it to completely cover and fill in all of these little holes and gaps. Be slow. Don't want to ruin any of the hard work that you have done. Now this batter is very thin, so it's almost a self-leveling kind of batter, but you'll probably have to do a little bit of smoothing. That's okay. Just try to make sure you get it all over your design first. Sorry, that's my microwave telling me my melted chocolate is done. Okay, very carefully. Do not dig down into this at all. Just smooth it out a little bit. This is a thin cake. Once you're at 375 degrees, your oven tells you so, you're gonna bake this for 10 minutes and then start checking it. It might take 12 minutes, could take a little bit less than that, so you don't want to overbake this. Make it dry and crusty and it's not very delicious. Well, it'll still be delicious, it'll just be rough. Okay, bake 10 minutes and then start checking it. All right, after about 12 minutes of taking it out, notice that it springs back when I touch it, so it's completely done. I'm gonna let it rest now for just a couple of minutes until some of the steam finishes coming out. I'm gonna take a small knife, go around the edge, and disconnect it so that it'll be easy to pop out. Now I'm gonna turn this out onto a towel that is lightly wet. So you wanna wet it and then completely wring it out. And take your wax paper off very carefully. Or not wax, I'm sorry, parchment paper. Never bake with wax paper, ever. I put a second one on top of this. It is also slightly moistened and I have rolled it up. We want it to kind of roll and kind of get cooled in this rolled position. So just leave it like that for 10 or 15 minutes. All right. So spread your filling all around. After this is cooled, leave this last little bit untouched. We're gonna make sure we're starting on the correct side. This is our decorated side, so we're gonna roll this way. Use your piece of parchment paper or wax paper is okay to use for this. Get it started rolling, and then use that to help roll. Ta-da! Oh my gosh, so cool! Completely done. You can see, make sure you have your little emblem right on the front, right up front. And then I'm going to transfer this to a cardboard cake board because I don't really have anything else big enough for it. So make sure you slide under, pick it up. You can see most of those details pretty nicely. There's only one final touch. I've just inserted my handles. They're made of modeling chocolate covered with gold luster dust mixed with just a tiny, tiny little bit of alcohol. I used vodka for this. It all evaporates. You don't even have to eat them if you don't want to. Kind of looks like a big rolling pin. But you've got all of your little designs that we put in there. You can use this type of technique for anything. I have done this with Halloween cakes, all kinds of things you want to make any kind of design. So this is perfect for any kind of decorated roll cake. I hope you try to make this yourself. Have a great day.